Hello and welcome to my flash guide for the basics of the Retribution Paladin in 7.3.5. In this guide we will be going over 4 major points of the specialization: stats, talents, rotation, and cooldowns. So starting off with stats, the stats for the Retribution Paladin are honestly all over the place. It will depend heavily on the gear that you have and the talent setup that you choose to go with. In my honest recommendation, the best way to find out your stats is to simply sim yourself. Put on the gear that you want to use and the talents you want to use and run it through a simulation. Normally, I would just give you a set of 4 stats in a priority list, but since all 4 of the stats are so close together, doing the sim is honestly the best thing for you. For instance, for my own gear and for my normal talent setup, I need to be stacking more versatility, and I guarantee you won't find another guide out there that will say that your best stat is versatility. If you've never simmed yourself before, I'd highly recommend using raidbots.com in combination with the add-on Simulation Craft. Copy and paste the data from Simulation Craft to Raidbots, run your simulation, and see where you stand stat-wise. Moving on to talents, starting with your levels 45, 75, and 90 talents. These are all largely situational, but the default should be Blinding Light, Eye for an Eye, and Cavalier. If you do not have the tier 21, 2-piece, and 4-piece set bonuses, your pure single target talents will be as follows: Final Verdict, Zeal, Blade of Wrath, and Crusade. With 2 targets, you'll switch Blade of Wrath to Divine Hammer, and with 3 or more, you'll also switch out of Zeal into Greater Judgment. Now, if you do have the tier 21 bonuses, you will be using Greater Judgment and Blade of Wrath in most situations. Divine Hammer can still be competitive in cleave situations, such as Mythic Plus dungeons and raid encounters like ENR. Moving on to rotation, your general opener should be as follows: Blade of Justice, Crusader Strike, Judgment, Templar's Verdict with Crusade, Wake of Ashes, Templar's Verdict, Crusader Strike, and Templar's Verdict. From here, you want to make sure that you're always keeping Blade of Justice on cooldown, especially when using Blade of Wrath, and making sure that you're always using your Templar's Verdicts and Divine Storms while your targets are under the effect of Judgment. Make sure you're also trying to keep Wake of Ashes on cooldown, but only when you have 0 holy power currently. Oh, and one last thing. Always, always, always make sure you have your Greater Blessing of Wisdom and Greater Blessing of Kings active on someone at all times, as this will grant you 4% additional strength. Moving on to cooldowns. Your only DPS cooldown is Avenging Wrath. This increases your damage by a large amount, as well as your haste by a large amount if you're using Crusade, and should be used in combat as often as possible. The rest of your cooldowns mainly focus on survivability. Divine Shield makes you immune to all damage for 8 seconds. Blessing of Protection is able to be cast on any friendly target and make them immune to physical damage for 10 seconds. Also, I just want to point out with both of these abilities that you can attack when you are under these effects, which is a big change from how it used to be, and I still see people confused about this. But moving on, Lay on Hands is a full heal of your max health that you can cast on anyone. Shield of Vengeance is an absorb shield you can put on yourself that, when fully consumed, does a small amount of AoE damage. Also, while not truly cooldowns, Hand of Freedom does provide some good utility with being able to free yourself or others from roots and snares, and Hand of Hindrance provides a 70% single target slow, which can be useful in some situations. And just an extra bit of information at the end here, the top 4 legendaries for Ret are considered to be Whisper of the Nathrazim, Soul of the High Lord, Chain of Thrain, and Liadrin's Fury Unleashed. None of these combo in any kind of way, so any 2 of these 4 are considered to be really good. And that's about it. That's all the basic information you need to get started on your own Retribution Paladin in 7.3.5. So please let me know what you think in the comments, subscribe if you want more content, and as always, thanks for watching.